Hi there, Morgan here from Crafting a Lovely Life, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute embroidery hoop Christmas wreath using your Cricut and iron-on vinyl. I absolutely love how this Christmas wreath turned out, and it was easy to make too. I can't wait to show you how I made it, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is open up a new project in Cricut Design Space and upload our design. The design I'm using for this project is available on my website, which I will link below. Once you have the design open, you can adjust the size to fit on the embroidery hoop you are using. For this 12-inch embroidery hoop, I went with 10 inches for my design size. Since we are just using one color for this project, we can go ahead and select the entire design and click Attach. This will keep everything together while we cut. Since we are using iron-on vinyl, we also need to make sure to mirror our design. So we will go ahead and click the mirror option for the mat. Now we can click Continue and select our material type. For this project, I'm using a non-Cricut brand HTV, so I'm going to set my material type to Heat Transfer Vinyl Non-Cricut. If you are using an Explore machine, you will want to set the dial to iron-on. Next, you can place the iron-on vinyl on a standard grip mat with the shiny side down. I like to then use a brayer tool to make sure the material is really stuck on the mat well. The arrow button on your machine should be blinking, meaning you are ready to load your mat. Once the mat is loaded, the Cricut button will start blinking and you are ready to start cutting. When the machine is done cutting, the arrow button will start blinking again and you can unload the mat and remove the vinyl from the mat. Now we are going to start weeding the design. Use a weeding tool to peel up the vinyl at the corner. Then you can get the bulk of the excess vinyl peeled off. Once the bulk of the excess vinyl is removed, we can use a weeding tool to get all of the smaller pieces in the letters and the rest of the image. Make sure you look over your design a few times to double check that there aren't any little pieces that you missed when weeding. Next, we can cut a square of fabric for our embroidery hoop. Just set the embroidery hoop on the fabric and use scissors or a rotary cutting tool to cut a square around the embroidery hoop with about 2 to 3 inches of extra fabric on each side. Cricut's Heat Guide recommends setting the easy press temperature to 315 degrees for 30 seconds for this type of material. Before placing the vinyl on the fabric, make sure you use a lint roller to get any loose lint off of it. Then use the easy press to preheat the fabric for 5 seconds. To get the design centered on the fabric, just place the embroidery hoop in the middle of the fabric square and place the design in the center of the embroidery hoop. Then move the embroidery hoop and place the easy press on top of the design. Heat for 30 seconds and then flip the fabric over and heat for another 15 seconds. If your heat press doesn't cover all of the design, you can heat the design in sections. Do half of the design for the specified time and the other half for the same amount of time, or you can heat it in quarters. The vinyl I'm using is a warm peel, so I'm going to peel up the plastic backing sheet while it is still warm. Make sure to look and see if your vinyl is a cool peel or warm peel heat transfer vinyl. Once you start to peel the plastic sheet away, if you notice any parts of the design not adhering to the fabric, just place the plastic sheet back down and go over that spot with the heat press again until it sticks. Now we can unscrew the top of the embroidery hoop and separate the two pieces. Place the top part of the embroidery hoop on the fabric with the design centered. Then place the back piece of the embroidery hoop under the fabric. Place the top piece of the embroidery hoop down into the bottom piece. Make sure the fabric is tight in between the two pieces and then tighten the screw at the top. Now you can use scissors or a rotary cutting tool to trim off the majority of the excess fabric. Make sure you leave enough of the fabric to wrap around the back of the embroidery hoop. Then we will use hot glue to secure the excess fabric around the embroidery hoop. Next, we can add all of the goodies to the top of the wreath. I chose to make my own bow for this wreath, but you can also just purchase a bow from the store if you prefer. To make the homemade bow, cut a piece of ribbon about 1.5 to 2 feet long. Then bring in both ends to cross in the center. If you are using the burlap ribbon as well, then do the same thing for it, but make it slightly smaller than the buffalo check ribbon. Then place the folded burlap ribbon on top of the folded buffalo check ribbon. Then you can pinch the center of the bow and use a twist tie to secure it. Then I cut tails on the buffalo check ribbon so they would have pointed ends. Then I like to cut off a small piece of the buffalo check ribbon to wrap around the center of the bow to hide the twist tie. Secure the center ribbon with hot glue. Now that the bow is ready, we can hot glue it to the top of the embroidery hoop and add the greenery with some hot glue as well. The last step is to add a ribbon to the back to hang the wreath. I just used a skinnier buffalo check ribbon and hot glued each end to the back sides of the embroidery hoop. How cute is this embroidery hoop Christmas wreath? I love how this turned out and can't wait to hang it up in my house this season. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and get a chance to make your own embroidery hoop Christmas wreath this year. Be sure to subscribe below so you can follow along each week as I share new crafty projects. Don't forget to grab this design on my website listed below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!